Alright, this is the 5th GameStop I have called to find the new Spartan collection. Thankfully, she has 2 of them in stock and she's holding them for me, so we have Alice and Fred waiting for us inside. Welcome back to the channel, Spartans. We have our second member of Red Team. This is Alice-130. She can be seen fighting side by side with Jerome and Douglas in Halo Wars. She is quite the powerhouse, with her loadout being a heavy machine gun and a shotgun. She is also a part of the Series 7 Spartan collection, which is hitting GameStop stores now. So if you've been keeping tabs with me, then you saw that these have been hitting stores in Texas, California, I believe Utah, and then a few other states throughout. So hopefully it's just a matter of time before they start hitting the East Coast also. Here's a look at the rest of the figures in this wave. So yokai hasn't been found by anybody. All the pictures I've seen have just been these 3. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I don't know if they're saving it for maybe their online store as an exclusive or what. And you know what? Now that I think about it, he actually wasn't shown at Comic-Con either. Hopefully we get to see him sooner than later, because I think that's an awesome looking Spartan. I did review Fred, so if you haven't checked that out, be sure to give that a watch. And I am still on the hunt for Halo 3 Chief, and that is probably my favorite style of Chief armor. I don't know, I just love Halo 3 in general. Like the rest of the Spartans, she comes with her 5 additional hands. Her body style and sculpting is going to be pretty identical to Jerome, since it is the Mark IV armor. Here we'll get a good look at that beautiful visor. I mean, if you are an inbox collector, then I mean, this is awesome. The packaging looks sleek and nice, it's new, and these just display really well. I almost forgot to show you the barcode to help you track this down at your GameStop stores. Alright, here she is out of the packaging. I'm actually pretty impressed with what I see so far. Her ergonomics look great. I mean, she's able to hold the heavy machine gun, no problem. I haven't done the shotgun yet, but we will eventually. Now, her armor color is a little bit lighter than Jerome, and I'm not quite sure how Douglas would compare, but there's definitely differences there as far as like her color scheme goes. Within Halo Wars, you don't get to see her face, and she doesn't have very much dialogue either, but the cutscenes are amazing. I mean, they get their butts handed to them by Atriox, and I've always told myself if they were going to do like a series on Halo, like, you know, on Netflix or Paramount or whatever, that I would love it to be like CGI the way they do it in the games. I mean, that would be amazing. Kind of like how they do the Clone Wars, you know, for Star Wars, but for Halo, and it's all animated or CGI. I mean, I think that would just do so well, and they can build so much lore on all these characters. Anyways, back to the figure. You can take off that heavy machine gun and you can place it on her back, and that's crazy because who knows how heavy that thing is in real life. But her ergonomics are pretty good. I mean, it's everything that you would expect from Jerome, so she can hold the shotgun no problem. It does take some finessing to kind of get it in there just right, but it is definitely a lot better than Fred. What really helps her ergonomics is that she still has butterfly joints here. Since this is basically a reused Jerome body, they had butterfly joints within series 1 through 3. They ended up taking them away. I'm not quite sure why they did that, but having them helps her shoulder the weapons a lot better. While we're here, let's get a good look at the decals that they put on her chest plates, 130, also the indication of Red Team. On her right pauldron, we have a Jolly Roger skull and crossbones, and that looks really good, nice and clean. She should technically have a smaller one on her left pauldron or her left shoulder plate. Other than that, there's not too much that really separates her sculpting wise from Jerome. I mean, it's basically the same body and legs, except they updated the paint applications. I think it looks a lot better. There's some more details to it, and her wash is obviously a lot lighter of a green, but you can see like right here by her thighs, this green right here is like more of a metallic look, if you can see that, and that gives a great contrast to her armor. You can see that they also put that metallic paint on the back of her chest rig and at the front of her helmet, and that's cool. I mean, I think that looks great. I attached 2 out of the 5 additional hands. I put the trigger finger on the right hand, and then I gave her like the closed fist on the left. The rest of the hands that are included are the 2 that came on her body, which really help her hold that heavy machine gun. We have an open palm on the left hand, we have a closed fist on the right hand, and then we have a trigger finger on the left. Like every other Spartan in this line, it's pretty easy to swap the hands. All you have to do is pull. That one's on there pretty tight. It's a basic little ball joint in there. Swap them out and just give it a nice push. When it comes to her weapons, they did an excellent job on this. I mean, the paint on this looks awesome. They didn't just make it all one color in a bunch of different areas. They actually separated it, like here on the rail, the frame of the gun, the magazine, the handle, and then all the little areas as well. And this is actually a pretty sturdy piece. And here's the little pinhole where you can place this on the back of her rig. The shotgun has the same treatment, just not as much color, black, gray throughout, but they separated between the stock and the foregrip. And there's even a little area that's been sculpted for the light. And if you look closely, her sights are even dialed in. She can also hold weapons on her thighs, so just like the rest of the Spartans, we have a thigh piece here. You can take it, flip it around, and then you can place a sidearm on there. Since she doesn't come with one, I'm going to use Jerome's pistol, and then we can just attach that to the thigh. That is also done the exact same way as far as the rig goes on her back. Take this pin, flip it out, and then you can place a heavy gun there. When it comes to her articulation, it should be pretty straightforward. We have a hinge with a little bit of a ball joint at the head. We can move it downwards and also upwards with an excellent amount of range of motion. You take the head, we can spin it probably all the way around, yep. And if you have Jerome, then you should be pretty familiar with this. But if you don't, I'm still going to go over it anyways. You can see here at the shoulder we have a butterfly joint. Not a crazy amount of range of motion, but enough to help her shoulder weapons. Since she doesn't have massive shoulder pieces here, she should be able to get a good amount of motion. So it looks like we have about 90 degrees. So we have a hinge there, and then at the base of the ball and socket, we have rotation all the way around. And then slightly below that, we have a swivel joint here on the upper part of the bicep. And that will allow that arm to spin all the way around. We have double joints here at the bicep, which will give us probably greater than 90. Yep, greater than a 90-degree bend, which looks fantastic. And then here at the wrist, we have a hinge and swivel. We can flex the wrist forwards and also backwards, and then spin the hand around. I would like to also add that my joints are nice and tight, which is my favorite thing. I do not like loose joints. Again, it's my pet peeve. So everything on her feels nice and great, and I'm very happy about that. When it comes to the torso, there isn't a great amount of motion there. I mean, you have some wiggle room, but what seems to be happening is that there is a ball joint underneath here, but the sides of the lower part of the chest limit the movement. I'm sure if you are a crafty individual, you could probably kind of cut into this part right here and allow yourself a little bit more range of motion. Something I would like to point out, this black layer underneath their armor is a little bit different. So she has basic flat lines, whereas Jerome has the flat lines with some little circles throughout. When it comes to the hips, she can do a full seated, so we have a good 90 degrees there, and she's about halfway into the splits. Like most of the Spartans, this upper part of the armor kind of gets into the way of the hip. What's really great about these legs is that they have a hidden joint here at the top of the thighs, which will allow you to take her legs, rotate them inwards, whoa, a great amount, and then also rotate them outwards as well. When it comes to her knees, she does have those double joints, and she has the old style of articulation here. So Jerome didn't have the new style where they kind of cut into it, so they kept that same sculpting and applied it to her. These knees have a great amount of articulation. They can't completely fold on themselves just, due to her armor pieces, but you're still getting some incredible movement here. And lastly, at the foot, we can take it and kind of rock it from side to side. It's on a hinge with a swivel, so we can take it, spin it all the way around. You can flex it upwards and backwards, and we also have that nice little toe joint, which will give us some more stability when we're posing. There isn't a whole lot that really sets these two apart. I mean, they're basically rocking the exact same armor. The biggest difference is going to be the decals between each figure, and Alice does have a lighter shade of green. Something that I noticed that I'll do on my spare time is that there is no black at the top of their helmet right here. So I'll probably add like a matte black to it to make it look more authentic. But this is great. I love having these figures. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we get Douglas. I mean, you can't have two without the third. And hopefully we can get Ripamormi and Sergeant Forge. Okay friends, that's going to wrap up this review and unboxing of Series 7, the Spartan Collection, Alice-130. The price for her and the rest of the Spartans is around $20, which is very affordable for everything that you're getting. You're getting a really large figure, 5 additional hands, and 2 weapons. That in and out of itself is a big win. There are some things that I would maybe like to change about that. As we know, I'm not super fond of having 5 additional hands. I'm okay with having 2 or 3 extra, and then using the rest of that budget towards the figure itself. For example, the extra little decals on her left shoulder pauldron and then the black across the top of her visor. I would have also liked to have seen some more movement at the torso. There isn't a whole lot, but again, if you're pretty crafty, you can cut into the sides and allow more of that range of motion. Another thing that I noticed is she is a lighter shade of green compared to Jerome, and I think they're all supposed to be the exact same shade, so I'm not quite sure why they went that route. Maybe to help distinguish her a little bit better. She does have the exact same sculpting as Jerome, so we know she has great articulation, far better than Fred. I do like having that butterfly joint there because that does help her hold her weapons better. I'm not sure why they took that away, but hopefully they can implement that with the new figures moving forward. I think they did a great job on the weapons. They seem to be sculpted accurately for scale, and I love the amount of detail that they put with the heavy machine gun. All the different paint apps throughout, the sculpting is fantastic, and the shotgun has the exact same treatment also. They did update the paint applications on her body, so she does have some more accents throughout her armor pieces that give it more of a contrast. Especially at the right shoulder pauldron, that Jolly Roger decal looks crisp and clean. Overall, I think this is a really good figure, especially for the price. I mean, that's what really makes this, because of how much you're getting for that $20. Since we have 2 out of 3 members from Red Team, hopefully we get Douglas so we can complete that collection. But that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, these are being found at GameStops. Not quite sure if they're hitting Canada yet. But to my friends just north of us, if you end up finding these in store, comment down below to help out your fellow Canadians. And that goes for you Spartans here as well. If you find them in your area, comment down below so other collectors in your state can track them down. Make sure you connect with me on Instagram to stay up to date when new things drop. I also post toy photography and toy videos. As always, if you like this video and you want to see more of it, be sure to like and subscribe. It is free, and we will see y'all in the next video.